Hello, good evening, everyone. Gabriel Lima here from Portugal Unplugged. We are about to start our Monday live session. Let's just wait for our partners, Lionel and Sergio. Please just give us a couple seconds. Okay, Lionel on the way. Let's see if today we don't have trouble with Facebook. And I think Sergio is on the way too.
Good evening.
Good evening. Let's just wait for Sergio.
Well, first of all,
And
I
I'm
think
here.
Sergio is
I'm here.
joining. Here it is. Well,
Okay,
first of
guys. So let's just check first. Can you hear me?
yes, loud
Okay.
and clear. And well,
Okay.
let me just share something different for today. Our members might be seeing me in a totally different setting, so I'm just going to share the beautiful town where I'm staying tonight, and well, the beautiful orange van down there. And well, I'm just staying in the heart of Arraiolos. So for those that don't know, Arraiolos, it's known for the traditional tapestry, the beautiful carpets, the beautiful rugs, handmade in Portugal. And it's right on the heart of Alentejo. It's one of the names that a lot of people, well, don't know about. It's not common to see this in, the groups, on the questions, on the people's itineraries, but it is totally worth it. And it goes a bit towards the topic that we want to discuss today. People that want to have, well, the authentic and local experience and end up staying or booking the same and popular places that everybody goes. Just challenge yourself to go a little bit beyond the obvious. And Arraiolos, it's a great pick. So, let me just take a seat over here, getting a little bit more comfortable. And I'm ready when you are. So let's start our Unplugged Live.
Well,
Thank you, everybody, for joining.
thank you for your input, Lionel. Let's invite everyone to join us for our Monday live session. And first of all, our presentation. So I'm Gabriel Lima, and I'm talking from here. I think you can see in the back the beautiful Albufeira. And with me, Sergio Costa from Portugal EV Tours, from Northern Portugal, Douro Valley, Minho, Porto, and of course, Lionel also to Desirable Portugal Tours from Lisbon, Sintra area, well, covering the whole country. Portugal is small, we have a big heart, so we can cover the whole country. And today, guys, what we are going to talk about? Well, we decided to talk a bit about the hot topics we've been having this week in our Portugal Unplugged, and a bit also about the core of the group. Sergio, I think one of your posts become somewhat viral. So, do
Yeah,
you want to start?
mildly.
Do you want to start? Okay,
Yeah,
go
sure,
ahead.
absolutely. So, once again, good evening, everyone. Well, well, 2 days ago, I would say yesterday, 2 days ago, I posted something. It was something that was actually very interesting. And we've discussed it amongst ourselves. We've seen these kind of questions being asked. Sorry. These questions are being asked quite a bit frequently, especially now that people are starting to travel and we're now starting to get into the shoulder season. So March, April sounds about right for traveling and picking up some momentum now. But there's a lot of people who just share on the groups just extremely generic questions like I'm staying here, what should I do? Where should I go? Where should I eat, etc. And it's amazing that people don't are not ashamed to ask their questions. But sometimes what takes those questions are usually answered in a couple of minutes by just doing some very basic research. Hence my topic for first-time visitors coming to Portugal. It's please do some homework. And what I mean is just do a little bit of research. It doesn't need to be anything like I've seen the comments of this post, and thank you everyone who chimed in with your opinions, with your impressions. I've seen some comments on this post, particularly one that said, "Well, people plan everything down to the minute." No, that's also not the thing that we're going for. What we want people to do is just get a sense of what's important for them when they travel, what do they want to see, and go from there. Research a little bit. What is that? If this was a, well, Gabriel, you're from math originally, so you probably know the concept, the Venn diagram, the intersection of the two things. So what are my interests and what does the country has to offer? And there's going to be that overlap in the Venn diagram. And that is going to make the unforgettable experience for each traveler. For some people, it might be food. So for others, might be history. For others, might be nature, beach. For others, it might be wine. You name it. And so uh, doing this a bit of introspective work, thinking about what do I want to see, what do I want to take away when I visit Portugal, what are my goals by visiting that country, and then doing a little bit of research into what Portugal has to offer. You're probably going to realize, oh, okay, so if I like the countryside a little bit more, maybe being based in Lisbon is probably not the best of idea. Maybe I should stay in Alentejo. Well, in Évora, perhaps, if you want a somewhat larger town with more possibilities, or, well, you could stay with Lionel in Arraial, for example, if you want a smaller vibe. The if I want to do nature, well, if I want to do nature, where else could I be based? Well, if I'm going to the north of Portugal, well, the Jerez is amazing. So why not? If I want more the bigger cities, well, Lisbon and Porto it is. If I want beaches, first thing that comes to mind is just setting up camp next to Gabriel down in the Algarve. So these are the kind of things that one should consider. And then depending on your interests, well, if you have plenty of time, let's say 2, 3 plus weeks, you can decide to divide your time a little bit more equally or focus a little bit more on the region. Let's say I love the beach. Well, if I had 2 weeks, I would probably stay one of the weeks in the Algarve and then just split the other week between Porto and Lisbon, for example. But this was the goal of the post, is just making people think about what they want to see when they come to Portugal, what do they want to take away when they visit, what is important for them. And this is something that we've been asking even before in other groups, even before Portugal Unplugged. We always said, the more specific you are in your posts, the better the help we can deliver to you. If you ask generic questions, you are going to get generic answers. But if you say that, oh, we like this, 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 and this, then you're going to have a laser focus, basically answer that is going to suit your needs and fit your interests the best. So this was the main takeaway of the post that I shared yesterday, 2 days ago. So obviously I offered the generic, the most common highlights for first-time visitors, something that I'm very fond of calling Portugal for beginners. And again, I don't say this in a bad way, but well, there's more to Portugal to explore. And if you start, well, if you go beyond scratching just the surface, well, you might hit the gold mine, basically. So this was one of the things that I wanted to share. Lionel, you want to take it now with some of the
Yes.
insights?
Well, yeah, sure. In fact, when we discussed about that subject and that topic, we were really about that post. We were really talking about this. These questions are becoming more and more common, and people seem to want a preset recipe. But in fact, this is not a one size fits all, and we say this a lot. And people just come over here. It seems like people decide to come to Portugal because it's trendy. They choose an accommodation that it's nice or looks nice, okay, and then they end up spending tons of time and money to visit certain places that they didn't realize in the map that is too far away, or they are not technically viable to connect by public transport and stuff like that. I remember recently someone just asking, they wanted to come from Lisbon to Porto and stopping at Óbidos or Nazaré and taking the train. But well, the train is out of order. The train is not running. Same thing, a lot of people thinking on going to the Douro Valley by train because they read somewhere did it by train, but the train isn't running. So sometimes these decisions, even that they could be, well, doable, feasible in the past, something's changed and people need to assess that. So yes, first thing is define what are your goals of visiting Portugal. If you want to go to the, well, to the Algarve to visit, by example, Benagil Cave, don't book an accommodation in Tavira. If you want to go to, the Douro Valley, don't book an accommodation in Coimbra. Those kind of things. So the first thing that I recommend is, in fact, people to define what are their goals and to look at the map to decide where to go, what to do, and then start working from there. Because when we do travel planning, we sometimes get people that ask us for help on their planning, but well, they already booked the flights, okay, but they already booked accommodation randomly in certain places, and then things are not doable, okay. This reminds me a long time ago, and was not on my still working for myself on the company, okay, and in an organized itinerary I visited Tomar, okay, in the day trip to Tomar, and my guests were staying at the beautiful place Casa da Calçada in Amarante, okay. So, and now you might be scratching your head about this. This makes totally, no sense, because we spend more of the time of the day just driving from Amarante to Tomar and back, than visiting Tomar itself. So, really, when people decide to do something, apart of deciding where they want to go, the next step is, in fact, to decide where to stay, to be convenient to see or to visit the places they want to go. And this goes to something that I experienced recently, and we've been advocating this, we've been talking about this. People should start looking at accommodations or places to stay out of the biggest cities, and sometimes it makes, quite sense to do so. A few days ago, and I posted, made a few posts about visiting, Sintra. I was there on foot. I, used public transport, used Ubers, whatever. But I realized, even living pretty close to it, I normally don't use public transport. I realized, by example, that to go to Sintra from either Mafra or Ericeira might cost less, okay, than going there from Lisbon. The buses are very efficient. And then, the experience, it's quite nice as well, because people end up riding the bus through countryside, through through some areas that people will never visit or know about, because it's not a common route. But in fact, one of the challenges I want to leave here for people, it's to start looking beyond the obvious when they book the accommodation. Okay, and this is in fact a great way to immerse into the local field, to immerse into the local culture, to really contact with locals, go to restaurants where locals go and such, because that is another of the very common questions. People want to get the local feel, but then they end up booking their accommodations right in the heart of the busiest area or on the touristiest area of the city, where, let's face it, local experiences really, don't exist much anymore, unfortunately. So that's why we are here with the Portugal Unplugged, and the group is growing, and a lot of people might be just watching us for the first time today. The group is growing, but our core in here is really to help people to unplug from the popular, obvious, touristy things, and to really get into the heart and soul of what Portugal is. So I usually say this: if someone recommends you a place that you never heard about, probably that's the place to go. Why? It means it's not the most popular place, overrun with people, or just too touristy, too commercial. So when people ask for recommendations and someone points out something that is totally off the chart, probably that's the place to go. Okay, I'm staying in a quite cool B&B here in Arraiolos, and Arraiolos, as I mentioned, it's not on any itinerary whatsoever. It's a very quiet town. Had an amazing dinner in one of the traditional restaurants in here. Really, those kind of dinners that you'll need to go for a walk for 1 hour or two after dinner here through the town, just to help things to get back on track. But it's an amazing place to stay. It's an amazing place to be around. And well, what can be more local than this? It was like 5 p.m. ish. I was here in the central square of Arraiolos, and we had locals chatting on the cafe tables. You had people over there just hanging around, discussing different subjects, and not even a single foreigner was over there. So this is it. This is the real deal. Now, getting in here is easy. Well, not the easiest place to come. Okay, there's some public transport, but quite limited. Of course, having a car, it's quite convenient. But this is where we enter as well, because sometimes organizing a 2 or 3 day tour through these lesser known places. Yes, exactly that restaurant, Vitor. Exactly that one. But then we end up organizing visits to places that no one goes or you don't have easy access to them. So this is the core of Portugal Unplugged. Of course, we are tour guides, we have our business, but what we really want is people to have a nice experience while visiting Portugal, and more than just the nice experience, really to go to the heart and soul of the places and to feel welcome by the locals and to interact with the locals, to really have this close contact with people that live here every day, and not someone that is just entertaining, kind of running a show for entertainment, like I see in certain places. So these things, fake authenticity, it's something that it's going on more and more everywhere. I'm really fond of authenticity. I'm really fond of showing people the true nature, the true essence of Portugal. That's why every time I have a chance, I take a few days off and come out of the major roads, the major tracks, to explore a little bit deeper, and of course to organize more stuff for our itineraries. And then we end up getting requested for very specific tours. I just got the confirmation today of a very specific tour. Guess what? Right next to where I live, because we have plenty of history over there. And I will be there just touring people with something that it's a subject that it's very historical for us, the French invasions, Linhas Torres. And pretty much most visitors that come to Portugal, and a lot of people that like old engineering or old military history, and that they don't have the minimum idea of the richness, the wealth that Portugal has to share about that, from the Peninsular War, the French invasions, all that. And that can be done like 30 minutes away from Lisbon. So why are people just going to the same old same? Everybody goes to visit the same monument in Sintra, everybody goes to see the same restaurant or whatever, when 30 minutes away of the city, there is a wealth of history that can be shared. So we are here to help, and that's really what we want to people to understand who we are and what's the goal of Portugal Unplugged. Well, been talking a little bit over here. I'm gonna throw the ball to Gabriel. Of course, my setup today, it's not the greatest in here, but it is what it is. We are out of town, and I do my best to be here helping on the Unplugged Live. But Gabriel, about the Algarve, I also know you have some things to share, and if you want to leave a few tips about it, go ahead.
Well, You said it all, and you're good, by the way. Don't worry about the setup. You are good. Well, not necessarily about the Algarve, but Portugal in general. After all, today we are addressing the core of Portugal Unplugged again, because it's important. We have way more people following us. We are about to reach 11,000, and every week we have more and more people coming. And then, because we advocate this unplug, we used to play with these new unpluggers. Unplug, it works for different things. It's not just about unplug from the trend spot or something. No, it's also the way we, running this group, we address the topics. We don't run away from the topics that might create some buzz or become a bit more or less popular. We don't mind about talking about this. That's why, Sergio, you wrote this, right? First-time visitors to Portugal, please do some work before booking. But then you were polite. You said a friendly reality check plus tips to make your trip amazing. So when we address these topics, it's because we want to help people for real. Otherwise, we would do just like so many travel writers or other influencers who just want to sugarcoat things. They want to show how kind they are. They take care of people, whatever, but they don't address the reality. I mean, we are very aware about the Disneyfication of many things in Portugal too. And it's okay. We have beautiful places that nowadays they look a bit like theme parks, and they are beautiful anyway. But we want to help people, like you said, Linal, to go beyond these spots and to find.
I call that the fake authenticity, and unfortunately, you see that more and more. Okay. The fake authenticity, it's getting more and more common, and a lot of people just are more worried about how it looks rather than what it really is. Okay, you can have the most beautiful dish on your table, but if it has no flavor, what's the point?
Here we go.
So it's pretty much it. But go ahead.
No, I mean, fake authenticity won't last. The problem is, if we try to sugarcoat everything, if we try to be the endless sugarcoating influencer or whatever or group, we're going to end it up like others. People, they are tired of this. Some people, they want the truth, they want the reality, not the fantasy. No wonder, even though we are tour guides, our group's still growing. And why? Because people, they know, they acknowledge that we have the knowledge of the field. I've been not going to speak for myself, but you are pretty much the same. I've been running this travel agency, tour guide operator for almost 10 years. I've been dealing with thousands of people, not just my guests, but with thousands of people who show up on Facebook groups, and then I engage with them. Sometimes I give some tips, sometimes I give some advices. Sometimes people, they take it in a wrong way or whatever, because I stand for the reality and the truth. And of course, those who like to follow the illusions, they don't like to see their illusions broken, right? Yeah, shattered. I was looking for the word shattered. Yeah, this is Friedrich Nietzsche. And this is so true. And this is why that sometimes, even today, I had a healthy debate on our group in this same post with a lady, because she brought something, the idea that, oh, but if we're gonna try to organize everything into detail, we're gonna lose the joy of going with the flow. And that's why I like so much Rick Steves or whatever. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. And then I just gave my input, and she didn't like it. I mean, I was not unpolite. I just brought to the table, because that's what we do here. We tend to unplug from the fantasy mindset of many people. I'm not saying it's wrong to follow Rick Steves or other guys like that. It's okay. But when people, they come to me talking about my Algarve, my Portugal, and they bring other people who are almost totally clueless about the reality of Portugal beyond the trendy Sintra, Óbidos, Lagos, Benagil, whatever, whatnot. I mean, I can't stand with this, and then I need to reply. But I try to be polite. So we don't want to make people feel bad, but sometimes we have to address the reality, and the reality sometimes it's a bit harsh. So of course, traveling and going with the flow, it's amazing. If you have lots of budget, if you have lots of time, it's okay, perfect. I had a caravan in the past, a camper van, and I used to do exactly that. I was driving, I was not even looking to my watch. Okay, let me see where I'm going to sleep one of these nights, or let me see where I go. It's awesome, unbelievable, nice. I was younger, I was single, I had no wife, I had no kids to take care. So I was just going with the flow, and I was in sales, I had a good weight, so it was good. But now just think, when people, many times we see this, oh, I'm going to Portugal. We're going to spend 9 days in Portugal. I'm going to have 3 days in the Algarve. What should I do? What can I do in just 3 days? Like, I'm running, in this year, I'm going to run lots of tours with people who are coming from the cruise ship here in Portimão. I have already about almost 20 tours. So people, they have 8 hours in Portugal. So what we going to do? Oh, just go with the flow. Of course not. We need to organize the time, because the time is the best asset that any traveler they have. Many times they don't think about this because they don't mind to lose 1 hour.
Let me just say one thing, and it's the biggest asset that they waste without proper planning.
Yeah, exactly. So what we try to bring here to the table and to address, it's based on our experience. We've been seeing this. When people, they say, oh, but this way, trust us, we've been hearing this over and over again. So we try to gather all the information we got. We are very aware that everyone is different. Actually, we defend this. We advocate that each person, each group is unique. So you deserve not the one-size-fits-all product, service, or whatever, but you deserve the best for you. And this is what we try to build here. Some people, they don't understand. It's okay. But we are not gonna run away from this way, because this is why we call Portugal Unplugged. We all remember when this idea came out that we want to do something different. We want to create some disruption. And this is what we've been doing. So no wonder we have more and more people asking things here, because they know they will get the truth. But at the same time, this is a safe place for people to bring their concerns, their questions. If someone wants to write, I don't know, some kind of a bad experience in those very popular super hype restaurants, just bring this to the table. It doesn't mean you want to hurt the business, but just bring it, because then maybe you're going to hear some other people sharing some other good experiences. So this is a community. This is not a cult where people, they can't say this or that. This is not a cult. This is a community, and everyone, as soon as they keep the respect and being polite, they are able to, they are they are allowed to bring whatever they want to bring to the table. So this is what we stand for here. And well, I'm pretty sure you are with me on this, because this is why we are here, right? We could just watching now some Netflix or whatever, and here we are. What are you doing here? We are selling ourselves, of course, but we are also helping people for real. I don't know, guys, if you want to have something more to share. I know I just became a bit excited with my beautiful background.
I want to add something that I always recommend.
Go ahead.
And this sometimes might feel a bit awkward. When people are looking for a certain place, either restaurant, a monument, accommodation, whatever, okay, people should read the bad reviews. Why is that? If you have several consistent bad reviews pointing out the same kind of thing, it might be expected that that can happen. Now, it's from the guest to decide. I can live with this or not. Okay, I can live with this or not. Pretty much it. Like, okay, well, the service on the restaurant is very slow, but the food is amazing, but the service is very slow. Okay, well, I can live with the slow service. Perfect. Okay. Oh, the bedrooms are very cold on that accommodation. Okay, well, I get another blanket. I can live with that. Perfect. But people need to know what they are up to. And the problem is, and as you've been saying, and I've been saying this, we see so much sugarcoating of certain things, because a lot of people, even just on behalf of business, they only show the positive things, but they don't counterbalance with what can be sometimes not so pleasant, because it's just on behalf of business. That, of course, some people will be just there, and there's an illusion created that everything is perfect, and it isn't. Okay, this has been, by example, one of the things with Sintra, and things are changing. Hopefully, they are going to change for the best from now onwards. Hopefully, I'm still a bit skeptical because I'm not sure if this is going to last forever. I have really my big doubts about what's going on at the moment, if it's going to last forever. Would love to, but I've been around for a while to really know that it's too good to be true, as sometimes we say. But really, what I want to call people's attention, it's to always check the bad reviews. And if you feel, okay, I can live with this, or I know how to get around this, fine. Okay. But then you have the other thing, and you pointed this out. I remember recently in another Facebook group, there was someone posting a review, a not so pleasant review about a certain type of tour. None of our tours, but someone else, and there were a lot of people defending the person itself, or even saying the person, the tour provider itself, or even saying that the original poster posting that bad review should be ashamed of ruining someone's business. Well, the reviews exist for the good and for the bad, okay?
Yeah.
And of course, the business owners have the right to defend themselves, but the reviews exist for the good and for the bad. I have, all my reviews on TripAdvisor are 5 stars. I'm very happy with that. But, sometimes we need to solve some issues on the fly, and of course, not everything goes according to the plan. But at least I can say, it's almost like a slogan from a very famous company that I try harder to provide one of the best experiences that people can have. So I try very hard for that. And some people just run the business doing the same old same, and they just don't care because people end up just being numbers. Okay, and
then they don't like to get a less good review.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly. So the thing is, when people are assessing what to do, where to go, and so on, always check the past experiences to decide what to do with. And then, of course, a lot of people like to write the bad reviews, and they bash and trash certain businesses. You can look at the car rental reviews, by example. But I can say this, and I know that I'm not going to be popular, or for some people, I'm not going to be too polite. A lot of the bad reviews on the car rental companies are just caused by lack of preparation or lack of knowledge of someone that just rented the vehicle without assessing if the car had some issues when they picked up the car, or signing an agreement, then don't reading an agreement, or pretty much not knowing what they were renting or what coverages they had, or so on. That's why insurances do exist. That's why I rent always fully insured. It's more expensive. Yes, it is. But it can be even way more expensive if I don't play safe and I don't take measures. You know about the insurances and all these things we've been discussing, but that's another topic. So I see sometimes a lot of people end up getting bad experiences, and I know you made a post recently about that. But in most cases, it's lack of preparation, and it's better to accuse a provider of a bad service than acknowledging that they messed up. Okay, it's better to accuse a provider of bad services than acknowledging that they are not telling the whole story, or they are trying to go through, well, the raindrops, as we say over here, to see if things go through without being noticed. Um, Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that, travel a lot and try to find all the possible loopholes to get benefits or to get exempted from their duties or responsibilities. So we see those kind of things. People need to prepare, people need to plan, people need to know what they are up to. That's why, you, me, and someone else, we always provide terms and conditions. We always are clear about our communication. There is no, gray areas on our agreements. And if there is any doubt, any question, just ask, okay? Very recently, I got someone just telling me, I just want to be sure that I'm going to get, worth for my money. And I needed to say sorry. If you're not sure about what you're getting, probably it's better not to move on with the tour. Okay, if you are not trusting what I'm selling you, I'm sorry, but it's better not to go. I don't want people to be unhappy, and no one would be happy that day if something would not go so well. So it's all about this. So more transparent than this, I think that it's impossible. So people really need to go deeper on their research. People really need to read, to research, to ask questions, okay? And it's all about asking the questions, asking the right questions. And if something is not clear, ask again. If the business, the provider, whatever, it's evasive, it's a red flag, okay? And we've been saying this a lot. Always, check possible red flags, and if someone is not clear on the communication, that's immediately a red flag. So these are just my insights, and sorry I've been shaking a little bit over here because I didn't bring my phone stand, but I needed to leave these comments over here. So I don't know if you want to add something else, and Sergio, you might have something to add as well.
Yeah, Sergio, you're gonna finish.
Yeah, so closing arguments, Your Honor. So let's do this. No, I'm just going back to full circle now and going back to the thing that started all this conversation with do some basic homework, ask some questions. Don't be afraid to ask some questions and to do some research yourself as well. That's all there is. The only thing that we're asking people to do is to be informed at a minimum. That's it. You don't need to just plan every day of your holiday over here in Portugal down by the minute. So at 10:15, I'm gonna be over here, and then at 10:29, I'm gonna need to turn this corner. No, we're not asking you to do this. Just build your own foundation so that we can build upon that to deliver you a great experience over here in Portugal. That's all there is to it. And we also advocate, and this is going back to the free time that we've had. There's no point in spending more time planning your holiday than actually enjoying it over here. There's no point in that. And you don't need to plan every single day. Time is a valuable resource. We all agree on that. But having a spare or a couple of spare days, free days, open days, no plan days in the middle of your vacation, this is actually going to add a tremendous amount of value to your holiday. The days that you are planning for, plan them, but leave a couple of days open as well, because there's always going to be that one thing that is going to catch you by surprise, that is probably going to throw a wrench in your plans on previous days, and then you need to catch up on that spare day. Or if you just want to take a day and relax, and even if you want to do something as simple as just laying in your hotel bed, which you booked a very nice hotel or an Airbnb, the mattress is super nice and you were not expecting, and then you just want to lay there for an extra hour that morning, well, you have an extra day for that, and then you can take it slow from there. So that's all there is to it. And that's basically it. Regarding the thing that you said, a couple of examples came to mind, Lionel, of avoid the touristy area. Well, Portugal for beginners versus advanced Portugal or unplugged Portugal. That's what we're here for. There's nothing wrong with being in a busy area, but if you do a little bit of research, like for example, so if I want to go to Porto, Should I stay in Porto, or is there an alternative that can
Hmm.
offer me just easy access to Porto where I can enjoy the city, but then it doesn't take me all that long to get out of the city and to go to a quieter town, a suburb area, for example, or even another place entirely that is going to be a little bit more relaxing for my end of day, for example. Um, Gabriel, you are always, well, you're not complaining yourself. You know how life is because you live over there. But a lot of people think, oh, Albufeira, the strip, etc. No, Albufeira is not a party town. Obviously, you don't want to sleep by the strip, but
Yeah.
Albufeira is so nice. I love it. It's big. It's a big town. I don't know how many kilometers of beach it has, 27, something like that.
Yes, yes, yeah, almost 30. 25
Yeah.
beaches, coves, long beaches. And the countryside is
When
amazing too.
Yeah, so you see,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're not a big fan of the nightlife, well, you don't need to stay in Albufeira for the night. You
Oh,
can tour. You,
just look. This is Albufeira, right? This is where I
yeah.
live, and from here I can see the neons of the street, maybe 2 kilometers away. I'm not going there. That's it. Simple.
Yeah, simple. Yeah, over here in Porto, same thing. You don't need to stay in the downtown area, which, okay, um,
Yeah,
stupid comparison. We don't like these comparisons over here, but they convey that's an easy way to convey an idea. Downtown, any city over here in Portugal, it's almost like New York. The cities rarely sleep. Porto is the same way. Lisbon is the same way,
yeah,
and these are the two larger cities in the country. So, to a lesser extent, smaller towns are the same way as well. So, there's always going to be some certain degree of activity even during the night.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But I
exactly.
have been suggesting people, for example, when they start looking at Airbnb prices or hotel prices in downtown Porto during the peak season, I started suggesting a completely different thing over the last 2 years. Why don't you do the opposite? Why don't you stay at the Douro Valley and then you take the train and go to Porto instead? And I'm saying Douro Valley because a lot of people want to go to the Douro Valley and they ask me, well, is it worth spending a night over there? My answer to that is absolutely yes. The valley completely transforms at night. But you have other alternatives in around Porto. For example, the city where I live. Okay, I know it's probably not glamorous. There's very little things to see in the city that I live. It's Maya, but I mean, you just cross one road to get from Porto to the city where I live. It's literally just crossing one road. That's it. And all of
Or
a sudden, go
or
ahead,
you have the
Lionel.
example of Vila do Conde that has metro connection to Porto.
Yeah,
Exactly, and it's a very beautiful place.
Yes, it
Gabriel
is.
for sure remembers it. We went
yeah. We've been there
To Azurara Beach over there. Very
three
beautiful
3 years ago. I
location.
love it. I love it
Yeah,
there. We saw the Roman. I think it was a Roman aqueduct or a medieval aqueduct.
the aqueduct that
Amazing.
has the 999 arches,
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
and
And for the kids, you have the replica of the caravel over there
we
that
We've
is
also
been
did
really
there.
cool
that
to
one.
visit.
We went
We
there. Oh yeah.
we did that, and you see, this is a cool program for a
Yeah,
morning or even for a day. We could go
yeah, yeah.
to Vila do Conde, Povo do Varzim. If you go down south, why not stay in Gaia? And I'm not talking just crossing the river and stay at Ponta de Ferro or the Rebelo or something like that. Beautiful by the river, but why not stay in Miramar, for example, or
Yeah.
close to Senhor da Pedra, the very famous chapel on the rocks in the ocean. Not a lot of people go there and visit, but there's also a few accommodation opportunities right over there. If you want to venture a little bit further south, well, 1 hour by train, you have Aveiro. Why not?
Hmm.
Can also be
Hmm.
an option, and then you base yourself in Aveiro and you travel to Porto. Same
Yeah.
thing with you, Lionel. Lisbon or Sintra. Well, you
Yeah.
have Cascais, you have the place where you live.
Yeah.
You have Ericeira, you have Mafra. You can
Hmm.
stay, for example, in Setúbal or even Sesimbra. Very beautiful, love it.
I love Alcochete. You know that.
Yeah.
There you go. So
Exactly.
there's alternatives, and
Yeah.
these are the things that when you start researching a little bit, doing your homework a little bit, you can start to discover these little things. And if you're not
Yeah.
sure what are your options, well, that's what we're here for. So, guys, it's been, like always, a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully, our
Exactly.
audience
Likewise.
agrees
Likewise.
with the same. And I don't know if you guys want to finish up with something or not. But from me, that's it. And I'm going to wish everyone a great week. And well, we'll see you all next Monday.
Yeah, I just want to wish you everyone a great week ahead too. And well, let's keep unplugging.
Yeah, well,
Leonel,
that's what I've been doing. So I unplugged totally from home, and gonna enjoy tomorrow just
don't
around here.
don't unplug too much, okay?
No, no, pretty much. You know, this is a well, I would say a considerably small town compared to the
Yeah,
most popular places. But my plan tomorrow it's really to just leave the van parked down there, okay, and just walk around here and
yeah,
sit and relax.
amazing,
And
amazing.
bonus points. The place over here has a really cool pool, so it looks very inviting. So who knows, okay?
Yeah.
But it's really that's really the plan, and sometimes we need those kind of things because
Oh yeah,
time is money, but well, only well when it's spent with quality. That's when we really can consider that it's time well spent. So, guys, thank you very
exactly.
much, and we see you all next week. Thank you for everybody who was commenting, and well, you already know any questions. Feel free to ask on the group with
Exactly.
your questions, so that way you will have better replies, better answers from everyone. Thank you. See you next week.
I'm just
Bye
going
bye,
to wrap
guys.
up
See you
with
next
one
week.
Bye.
quick thing over here, answering to
Yes.
Vitor, churrasqueira da Maia. I'm not sure if Vitor wasn't to say churrasqueira or steakhouse, because in Maya, that's actually one of the things that we have. It's one of the best steakhouses of the entire country. Steakhouse da Maya, absolutely gorgeous. So for any meat lovers out there, well, that's one of the highlights of the city I live in. So have a great week, and I'll see you all next week, next Monday.
Thank you. See you next week.
Bye bye,
Bye.
Stefan. We will unplug soon. Bye bye. Bye bye, guys.
Bye.
See
Bye.
ya.